Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Travel Seekers with TV's Dave Galvan. I, of course, am TV's Dave Galvan. Now, today we're going to be talking about something that a lot of travelers really don't think about, and that is the weirdest travel laws in the world. Now, when people plan a trip, they think about flights, hotels, excursions, and maybe what they're going to eat. What they don't think about is there are laws, real laws, that can get you fined, kicked out, or even arrested for things that seem completely normal at home. And some of these things are so strange, you're going to think I'm totally making them up, but I'm not. So let's get into it. Number one, here's one a lot of people actually already know here in America. There's no chewing gum allowed in Singapore. Now let's start with this. This is very famous. In Singapore, chewing gum is basically banned. Technically, it's not illegal to chew gum if you already have it, but importing, selling, or distributing it is restricted. Why? Because Singapore is extremely serious about cleanliness. Years ago, people were taking their gum out of their mouths and they were sticking it on sidewalks, doors, and train sensors. So the government just said, that's enough of that. And the result is one of the cleanest cities in the world. So the tip here is simple. Don't bring gum into Singapore unless you want an awkward conversation at customs. Number two, no selfies with Buddha in Thailand. This one surprises a lot of people. In Thailand, it's considered disrespectful to take certain kinds of photos with Buddha statues, especially selfies where, you're posing casually or climbing on them. Now, this isn't always enforced like a strict criminal law, but people have been fined and even arrested for disrespecting religious sites. The bigger takeaway, just respect local culture, especially when it comes to religion. I've always said my number one rule in doing anything is don't be a dick. So the number one rule in travel is don't be a dick. Law number three, no feeding pigeons in Venice, Italy. If you've ever been to Venice, you've probably seen the famous pigeons in St. Mark's Square. Well, feeding them is illegal. Why? Because pigeons were causing damage to historical buildings and monuments. So now if you're caught feeding them, you can get fined. So imagine explaining this one back home. How was your trip? Well, I got a ticket for feeding a bird. That literally will happen. Number four, no high heels at ancient sites in Greece. And this one is real and it's actually kind of serious. In certain historic sites in Greece, like ancient ruins, high heels are banned. Why? Well, because the sharp heels can damage the stone surfaces that have been around for thousands of years. If you show up dressed for a night out instead of a history lesson, you're not going to be allowed in. So dress appropriately for where you're going, not just for photos. Law number five, it's actually illegal to run out of gas on the Autobahn in Germany. So in Germany, on the famous Autobahn highways, it is illegal to run out of gas. Yeah, that's right. Running out of gas is considered preventable and therefore your fault. If it happens, you can be fined. So if you're driving in Germany, don't play the I think I can make it game like you do at home. Just fill it up before you get on. Law six, no wearing camouflage in the Caribbean. This one catches people off guard all the time. In several Caribbean countries, wearing camouflage clothing is illegal for civilians. Why? Because camouflage is reserved for the military. So that cool camo outfit that you packed, just leave it at home unless you want problems. Law seven, this is hard for a lot of people, but no jaywalking in some countries. In places like Japan and parts of Europe, jaywalking is taken much more seriously than it is here in the United States. You might be used to crossing the street whenever it's clear or whenever the hell you want to. But in some countries, even if there's no cars, you're expected to wait for the signal. And yes, people get fined for ignoring it. Don't ignore it. Just wait for the green, not in between. Law 8, no public displays of affection in some countries. Certain destinations, especially in parts of the Middle East, public displays of affection can get you into trouble. We're talking about something like kissing or even holding hands in some cases. This falls under the cultural awareness and becomes kind of critical. What's normal at home is not acceptable somewhere else. Number 9, don't flush toilets at night in Switzerland. Yeah, this sounds like a joke, but it's actually real in some apartment buildings. In Switzerland, there are noise regulations that can extend to things like flushing toilets late at night in certain buildings. Now, this isn't a countrywide law, and you're not going to get arrested for it, but it shows how different expectations can be. And number 10, no taking shells from beaches in some countries. There are places like Italy and Greece, taking sand, shells, or rocks from the beach is illegal. Why? Because over time, tourists are literally removing pieces of the coastline. And yes, people have been fined for this. So that free souvenir might cost you more than you think. Just skip it. Take only pictures, leave only footprints. So now you're probably thinking, okay, these are weird, but how often do they actually matter? Well, here's the thing. Most travelers just don't get into trouble because they're doing something intentionally wrong. They get into trouble because they assume the rules are the same everywhere. They are not. Travel is one of the few situations in life where you are responsible for knowing the rules, even if no one tells you. Simple travel tip. Here's an easy way to avoid problems. Before you visit a country, go to Google and spend 5 minutes searching what's illegal in, and fill in the destination. That one simple step can save you from fines, embarrassment, or even worse. So today we talked about how some of the weirdest travel laws in the world, including no gum in Singapore, no feeding pigeons in Venice, no camouflage in the Caribbean, and no running out of gas in Germany. Yeah, it sounds crazy, but it's real. And it's a reminder that travel isn't just about seeing new places, it's about experiencing and understanding them. Because the more you respect how things work in different parts of the world, the better your experience is going to be. Well, that's it for today's episode of Travel Secrets with TV's Dave Galvan. I am your host, TV's Dave Galvan. Look, if you enjoyed this one, share it with someone who loves to travel and might accidentally break one of these laws. And just remember, the world is an incredible place, but it comes with its own set of rules. Thanks for listening. Please like and share, and we'll see you next week.